Thank you everyone for bearing through. Kid was adding some finishing touches to his next masterpiece. We are back with more Little XX Fat Kid XX, and he's going to do some Mega Man Network transmission. Kid, take it away.
Hello. This is Mega Man Network Transmission. For once, this was released outside of Japan. So it was released in the US, Japanese, and Europe, so power territories. I'm playing the US version because the Japanese version is slower and the PAL version runs at 50 Hz. I'm really bad at this game, and this is going to be a train wreck. Even more so than this one. Commentating is Twilight again.
You guys should know me by now.
Yep. Terror is also helping commentate, possibly.
Hi, I'm Traj42.
Okay. So, there was somebody else that was going to commentate, but they can't make it, unfortunately. But shoutouts to Mabel, who also runs this game, has the world record currently. Has a very good run, although I think some of the strats are different, like Joker. And yeah, if that's all, I guess somebody count down and I'll start.
I gotcha. 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay. So there's an unskippable cutscene at the start, like with any good speed game. It picks up after this immediately, though.
It's a good cutscene, but seriously, kid, why didn't you include start button to skip the cutscenes?
This is a bad me. I'm not in the credits for this one, alright?
Yet.
Oh jeez, I can't overstate how much of a train wreck this is going to be, hence why my estimate is 45 minutes longer than what a normal person's would.
NT is a difficult game. Like, casually, I think a lot of players probably... It's got a reverse difficulty curve where the start of the game is significantly harder than the end, just because your HP scales so kind of insanely. Like, spikes aren't instant kill in this game, they just do 200 damage, which for the speedrun essentially means one hit and you die. But casually, you get 1000 HP, and then you can just walk through them.
So... I mean, everything Tara said is true, but for me personally, when it comes to specifically speedrunning, I think the second half is much harder than the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah, like, I mean, casually, the difficulty curve is backwards. In a speedrun, everything actually kind of balances out. The start of the game is technically easier, because it does get more difficult since you skip so many of the power-ups and HP memories.
Yeah, it's mostly due to level design. They do get some really annoying level design in Pharaoh, man, and Gravity, and I suck at bosses, so... It will be interesting. I reg cannon right at the start. You get 10, and you start off with, I think, 8 reg memory.
The start of the game is interesting because the very first and only the first time that you go onto the internet, you get this tutorial. So there's a whole lot of text for a platform, but what the tutorial does is it makes it to where the first chip that you get... Did you reg sword?
No.
Okay. The first chip that you get is cannon, and the second chip that you get is crossgun, and then the rest of them are random.
See, I forgot about that, and that's why I reg cannon.
Kid is a professional speedrunner. But you can take advantage of that, and you can use just the fixed chips to get through mostly the start of the stage, because your buster starting out is very weak. But the battle chips will one-shot most of the enemies. And whenever you defeat an enemy, the game has an internal hidden busting rank system. So, like, for example, when Kid fires a V-gun and gets a multi-kill, that gives him a high rank, which means it's more likely to drop a battle chip. And when you delete the cannon virus and you get the cannon battle chip, it adds to your current amount and the total amounts. Each type of battle chip you can have so many uses of at maximum. In Cannon's case, it's 30. But even if you got it maxed out, if you're running around with like 9, and then you get a cannon drop, it goes up to 10. So by quickly defeating each of the cannons, essentially he gets free uses of them.
So, fun fact, people might find this funny because I'm an idiot. Where, I'm thinking years ago, I first started learning this game and didn't finish. That was when I had the PAL version, which was just kind of annoying to play for me personally, and slower. Then I got the Japanese version, which was slower. And then, I finally, like a year ago, got the US version and finally started running this game. So PAL version just wasn't nice to play, Japanese version was fine to play, but I never got around to it. So I have like 2 versions of this game I never use.
So I forget, why is the Japanese version slower? Like extra text and
I
not extra,
think it's
audio
all
transmission?
due to transmission.
Jack and Mega Man execute in Japanese.
Yeah. So kind of like how in Battle Network 3, among others, that the jack-in animation just gets removed, and in this case, part of the audio clip gets removed, so it just goes into the animation immediately.
Quick question for the runner: are you using the GameCube or the PS2 version?
Yes, this was only released on GameCube, despite what somewhat popular YouTube videos may or may not have told you.
What controller do you use, though?
I use a HoriPad. I used to use a
nice.
GameCube controller.
Still thinking about actually getting a HoriPad.
I really like it. I know Mabel doesn't like it so much, and the SNES adapter is probably better. But
That's what I use.
I'm fine with the HoriPad. I like it.
It is like how.
What does that spiky have? I thought it was 100.
I don't know. If you use the V gun, it double hits though. So.
Really?
Yeah, that's why I use it. I can't even find swords. I've played this game before.
It's R and press up twice.
It's faster to just hold down. R has too much to fix animation.
Yeah, but it's like there's, well, you know, we won't argue about menuing efficiency.
No, we're gonna do it for the entirety of the stream. We're gonna get Draco, see what his opinion is.
The first boss, Fireman, his attack is based off of how much health he has, your proximity to him, and then a little bit of RNG. If you're close to him, he'll try to hit you with Burner, but there's a perfect distance that you can stand where you're far enough away that you won't get hit, but close enough you can hit him with the sword. And Kid executed the quick kill strategy very good. He only got 1 firearm. It's possible to get 2, and then you have to equip heat armor, and then you make it a 3rd. So.
Yeah, Apples really sucks casually if you don't know about swords. It's really difficult to dodge his heat arm. That's like the only reason the boss is bad, and because it does so much damage. Kind of ridiculous. And you can't even like grind for more HP memories. Really.
It's kind of hard to dodge a lot of bosses. And Fireman starts out so far to the right side that you can slide under most bosses, actually, which is kind of funny. But some of them, like Gutsman, if you're too close to him and try and slide under, he'll just punch you. So even though that seems to be an intended way to dodge them, a lot of times it's not safe to do so. And as I said, like the first 2-3 bosses before you get a lot of upgrades, you can't take a lot of hits, and a lot of the attacks can be really hard to dodge, especially the firearm and like Colorman's fire tower, just because it's not obvious how the hitbox works on those.
Yeah, and then like real late, as in second half of the game, they expect you to get ways to mitigate damage, like Invis, so they just kind of say screw it and give bosses undodgeable attacks, which is real nice.
Well, there's only one.
Well, there's Starmans, which can be undodgeable, there's Zeros.
Okay, yeah.
There's Proto-Man, who is technically dodgeable, but nobody knows.
Is he
how that
technically
works.
dodgeable?
Yeah, I've done it, and I think Gaz did as well. No, I haven't beaten him yet. I've just dodged him a couple times. I wouldn't be able to do it consistently. And thing about that is you're supposed to land on the right thing.
Did I hear yelling?
Nope, nope.
What's the requirement for fighting Proto Man anyway?
Yeah, requirement for fighting Predator.
Nothing, you just have to have access to him.
Go to the Undernet and he's there. Yeah.
So the first time that you run into him, it's a cutscene, and then you immediately leave. But any point thereafter, you can go to the warp and then fight Pharaoh.
Because I stopped playing the game after a lot, man.
I question why you went that far, but stopping was a good decision.
Yeah, this game's really good though. That being said.
Yeah, I
it.
like it. I like it even more as a speedrun, honestly. Because as I said, casually playing, the difficulty is all out of whack. You got mini bomb.
Yeah,
I'm commentating probably like 10 seconds behind, but so the mini bombs in this game are pretty neat because they have a lingering explosion. It doesn't work on most bosses because they get iframes, but on a virus like a spiky, they've got 120, 150 health. Mini bomb does 50 damage, hits 3 times, so you throw one and it just takes it out. So mini bomb is a really good chip. Shockwave, kind of similar. Use that on one specific mini boss later on. So some of the basic chips are actually really good, and part of the reason they're good is because you can have so many of them, and they don't take as much megabytes. Did we talk about like how chip usage works?
No.
So in this game, you've got a health bar and then the green bar, which is like megabytes. Basically think of it as mana or energy usage. Each chip takes a certain amount. Cannon takes 8, and that slowly replenishes over time. It replenishes at a fixed rate, so the higher your maximum is, the faster the regeneration of it. So that's a good reason to pick up all the extra mem-ups.
I just gave up. Got that. Wanted an extra cannon.
Whoa.
I should have just used the other bomb I had.
Kid, you okay?
So, boss teleporters are pinkish purple. Before each one, there's usually a Recov 200, which, again, for most of the run is going to be full health. Gutsman is a pretty annoying boss because his ground slime attack is really fast and not very well telegraphed, and he moves around randomly, slowly gets uncomfortably close to you like some other bosses. And once he's in close range, it's even harder to dodge, and often he'll just like spin around and punch you. Kid went in with a good number of cannons and a bunch of other chips. The toughest thing about the Gutsman fight is killing him before you run out of megabytes.
That's it.
Because if you had more megabytes, you could just spam chips and take them out not too bad. Bosses also have invisible ranks, so depending on how well you do against them, it affects how much Zenny you get as a reward. And the Zenny flies out randomly, and sometimes it gets thrown off stage. Zenny is kind of important in this game because we use it to buy certain particularly useful battle chips, a couple power-ups, an unlocker HP memory, various stuff. There's not too much flexibility in it, so it's important to have good boss fights. Sometimes there's not much you can do. At this point, like the first 2 bosses are linear, but this is kind of like the classic Mega Man. You have a stage select option here. So you get the AC/DC town map, and there's 4 different places we can go. And you can do them in any order. We're going to start with Quickman, because his stage isn't too bad, and you can clear the stage and the boss using just cannon on reg, which is pretty nice. And it gives you a lot of money that we can then buy a few chips and items to help us for Needleman.
Because Dallas asked, can I quickly explain some of the plot before I forget?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, so the reason we fought Gutsman was because the main plot of this game is that navis are getting infected by the Zero virus. That's all you know about it. It's a virus that basically makes them go berserk and just damage things all around them. That's also why we fought Fireman. He wasn't actually doing anything intentionally wrong.
Yeah, I think you get that by playing too much Mega Man X4 and 5.
Yeah, pretty much.
Those lasers are one shot, by the way. Except if you're using Invis or Iron Body or Stone Body, they won't kill you.
I didn't actually know that Stone Body would kill you. That's funny. As soon as you get out of it, you'll die.
Yeah, so it's like if it doesn't kill you instantly, it will eventually. The sniper just they don't have shields on their feet. It's very
obviously this is like takes a lot of inspiration from Quickman's Mega Man 2 stage. But I would say harder because you don't have the ability to use Flashman's weapon to slow them down.
Yeah, but I mean, and then of course Giant Flappy.
Yeah.
Oh, in the bottom right, the giant golden mystery data thing is like a piece of information to use in different games, like BCC or Battle Launcher, I forget. So this is Quickman's boss fight. I want you all to watch this variant. I want them to see how good you've got. All the many years of experience of working on network transmission, literally and figuratively. Oh my. I'm with the Buster Shot. Well done, kid.
Thank you. See, I just got hit twice by walking into him just to make it more tense.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be saving after every single boss after what happened to me last marathon. And if anyone's wondering what happened to me last marathon is I lost like 2 stages of progress after dying. So that was pretty bad.
I am genuinely impressed that you're still saving. Because normally you just absolutely refuse to.
Yeah.
NT, the Star Force Marathon. Yeah.
I'm pretty infamous, I guess, when it comes to races and marathons for not saving.
You sure about that, streamer?
Part of my identity.
Yeah.
Hey, entertainment over skill, you know?
Yeah. So
that's definitely what classic fatkid does.
Yeah. Fatkid bought an unlocker, so there are purple mystery data in this game. Is this the only one that we get? I feel like it is.
Yes, it is.
I can't remember. We're also picking up, again, it's there's an invisible busting rank, and as soon as the enemy spawns in, the timer starts ticking. So we want to pick up 3 or 4 tree bombs in this stage, which will be very useful later on. Fortunately, cannons do 1-shot most of these enemies here, or 2-shot those that doesn't. This hang rail section is kind of spooky sometimes. There's platforms, there are collapsing platforms below you, but it's possible to miss them.
Yeah, unlike Wonders one, this game doesn't eat your inputs when you're on collapsing platforms, so I don't worry too much. I have been steeled by a very well programmed game.
But yeah, cannon's just really doing work in these stages. But we also bought some Heat Vs, because, you know, Battle Network games got elemental weaknesses. Oh, you had dash.
Don't worry, I used it.
Yeah, I like dash and guard. We kill that thing at the bottom. So we're gonna use Heat V because the boss is Needleman, and Needleman, like, we still don't have a lot of health and he does a lot of damage. Bosses will also like counterattack anytime that you hit them with a battle chip and make them flinch. So kid's gonna have to dodge a couple of them. The jump at the end is also kind of scary.
I've never missed it, but I always expect to.
Yeah, it looks really weird, but just kind of when you jump up, weird things happen to your hitbox. So you can stand at the edge of a platform, jump up, and you won't hit your head, but if you don't move, you'll fall to your death.
It's a bit more lenient than Mega Man Classic, but still has classics like toe system, where if you have a big toe on the platform, you're not going to fall off.
Yeah.
Although it's a little less defined because it's pretty normal.
Mega Man has excellent toe strength.
Very good toe
I
strength.
guess it's all in the boot.
It's all in the boot.
Little Man is quite the character. He may be relevant to the plot much later in the game.
I won't count on him. But yeah, that was Yai's Gardener's Navi in this game. Oh wait.
But yeah, it's so like a Navi gets infected by the Zero virus in 4 different places, and it has varying effects. Male gets trapped at a bank. The Waterworks system is frozen, so no one has running water. The shopping district lighting system goes haywire because of some contractor Navi that Higsby knows. And Yai's garden is being improperly hedged. So, you know, you have this ranking system of which of these is really a disaster. Wait, what?
Clearly the hedge.
Did you reset?
RNG, man. Totally wasn't quick. It wasn't because I forgot to buy elect blades and Iceman scared me.
Well, I mean, the speedrun strat is to not buy elect blade.
Not Maples, and that's the route I use.
Okay. Waterworks is the only time that you can't mash A to get you to your destination. Because most places are just one, and then some have like multiple choices. Like the train, you can go to the shopping district or the Waterworks.
Yeah, it's really nice that it just defaults to the correct one that you haven't been to.
Yeah. So we keep Heat V on reg instead of cannon because there are these viruses at the start, these penguins, and the first 2 you can't because they're following along at the bottom. So again, they've been on the screen for a long time, so you don't get a high busting rank. But if you Heat V, you can get a double kill off the 2 that spawn, and they drop a very useful chip that won't be relevant until we cross the halfway point in the game, or the one-third point. So you'll see it then, but
Yeah.
this is very important.
So I only need 5 PVs there, but I buy 6 in case I get a really bad draw starting out and can't use anything else to kill things.
Yeah, you know, probably not a bad idea.
Because we have just enough spare money to buy like the 1.
Oh, and we've also been collecting HP, and we're going to damage boost through some things. The polar bear is pretty scary, because viruses do a lot of contact damage, but especially the polar bear. And so you have enough to take 1 hit and jump through them. But the timing is kind of tight, because if you're a little too slow, it's very easy to die there. But we're back in the Waterworks, and hey, you know, Iceman's gone crazy again, and froze it again. This game, plot-wise, takes place between Battle Network 1 and 2, so when the characters come here, they talk about, oh yeah, this reminds us, just like last time. Oh, you got Shockwave, so you're gonna not do a folder edit, I guess?
Yeah.
Oh, good, we get to see all of the vanishing blocks. So, these are on a global timer, and from when the cutscene ends after you enter the stage, you can hit a reasonable cycle to get through both of them, but if you miss one, then they get desynced. So you get to see like the full puzzle and the intended way to get through it. There's a neat little side effect where if you use the repair battle chip, it restores falling platforms, but it also locks in place vanishing platforms. But we need Shockwave for the mini boss in this stage. There's what, like 2 mini bosses in the entire game?
Yeah, about that.
And
This one's the
is
worst
here.
by far.
Yeah.
Why is that one moving at 100 miles an hour?
So there's the initial speed is random, and then when they split, it's random. And then they kind of slow down and float around. So Shockwave is really good because they do eventually go back on the ground, and
We're getting comfortable, guys.
yeah, when they get to the bottom, and the Shockwave splits them, you usually get a couple hits, and sometimes you kill some of the ones that split. So using Shockwave is really good there. Oh, and we drew it again, and you got Mini Bomb. So with full health, this should be fun.
You!
if you're at 0 lives, I'd probably just actually, you saved before the stage.
Yeah,
maybe just try it one more time. And if you
No,
get
I didn't
to the
die.
end-
I didn't die.
Oh,
They
okay.
did the fast pattern again, so I couldn't get to hit any of them. So I'm gonna run out of shockwaves. I've never gotten the
But
fast
you've got
pattern
many
like
bombs.
that. I have got many.
Like while they're up in the air, you can hit them with them anyway. At least level 1.
It's better than last time, and I had to bust them down. I was here for like 5 minutes.
Yeah. So. This mini boss normally goes much better on average. That was kind of unfortunate, but there's a bit of RNG to it.
I'm glad that mini bomb missed, so they're actually gonna throw that.
Oh, you've got the mini bombs, so you can kill the polar bear.
I forgot my edit here. Whatever.
Or, you know, you can death warp, sure.
I mean, yeah, definitely. I like things at a different terror.
So, like, editing the folder gets rid of all of your chips, but it refreshes them, right? Or does...
No,
you have to check out. I think refresh them. And then if you die, it refills your health, MP, or megabytes, and you get chips to select from. So you recollect blade, which is all you need for like man, and then hopefully you draw something else to get through the polar bear.
He died again? It's an intended death warp.
Yeah, it's like the one death is intended. If you unintentionally die, probably wouldn't. Oh, burner works on that guy. It looks kind of cool. So the Lechman strat, there's ice physics, so it's kind of hard, and Lech Blade is a short reach, and Iceman is a short navi. So it can be a little tricky to hit him. Nice, but fatkid did the fight quite well.
Wasn't like the most optimal because I got scared.
Understandable.
It's because, you know, when he does the ice breath, I always think that that'll freeze me, even though it doesn't.
Oh.
So I just do contact damage into it.
Yeah, because in Battle Network 1 you can get frozen, but
Yeah.
I guess like status effects would probably be a little harder to do in this setting.
I mean, Shield Penguin does it in Mega Man X, so he did do it. It's just they'd have to make the boss not do 1,000,000 damage with everything. So.
Yeah, because Freezeman does have, or Iceman does have one other attack, Freeze Bomb, that does essentially all of your health and damage. I think like 160.
Yeah.
So you might, if you're full health, you might survive.
I just wanted to say there's backups in this game. That is like they establish in BN1 that Mega Man doesn't have backups because he's too unique to Navi. But that's the gameplay mechanic, so they have backups and then kind of tried to fit it thematically. So I guess they just didn't care. So it doesn't make sense, yeah, but that's how it is. And backups are cool.
The problem, yeah. So the problem here is that you're trying to apply logic to a Battle Network game.
Yeah.
And it doesn't usually work.
Nearly answering the question,
You can get up to 9. The backup chips are hidden in different places. One of them is just about fixed, forced, but the rest of them are like kind of out of the way. So.
I always slide into that. I'm gonna take this the slow way just because I'm low on health.
Oh, I guess there is the electric stun effect, which is super annoying.
Oh yeah, because the last version of that is like lasts so long that you can't actually mash out of it in time.
Yeah, like Mag Bomb 3 and Zap Ring 3
So
are
bad.
disasters. Oh, so with Brightman, his mechanic is that whenever you fire off an attack, he goes into a defensive stance. If you hit him, he will destroy the attack and counterattack. But if you time it right and trick him into the defense mode and then lob a projectile that hits him after his defense drops, while he's in iframes and flinching, he won't put his guard back up so you can throw out another attack. So just the the lobbed nature of a tree bomb works out well. Combine that with the double damage from elemental weakness, and you can kill one of the most annoying navis insanely quickly. So,
Yeah, that is the most annoying navi in my opinion by far. It looks easy and it is not that hard of a thing, but it does take like pretty precise time. So if you're not paying attention, you mess it up.
Yeah, and shoutouts to BLK Yoshi, one of the first speedrunners of this game, for accidentally finding that strategy.
So here I read an extra 2 emails. One gives me a barrier and one gives me a fast gauge. That'll come into play later in the run.
Thank ya.
I need
think it gives you 1 free barrier, which basically is 500 zenny. Because we'll be able to buy those eventually. Reminder to buy barriers eventually.
So I do have backup marathon saves, but I don't remember which is which, so I'm still going to be saving.
Understandable.
It's fine, surprise us.
Hey, Billy Glass.
It's like, oh no, I died on Iceman. Wait, looks like we're fighting Zero now. We're on record pace. Oh, so having beaten the 4 navis, we now have a split of 2. We get to go to the arcade, and we get to go to the power plant. And this is where we're going to make use of the double jump or doob jump battle chip, which, as long as you have the megabytes for it, you can chain together as many of these as you want to jump multiple times. This allows you to skip a lot of the platforming sections and do some stages completely backwards.
It is really cool. Double jump's definitely the coolest part of the run and it's one of the coolest things in this game. Yeah. One of the things I really like with running, I like kind of the megabyte management, I suppose. That's a pretty cool thing that's not in too many platformers.
Yeah, I suppose. Megabyte management, I think, is particularly important for these 2 stages. Because we're using so many double jumps, and then both bosses, you need a lot of megabytes to take them out. I guess particularly because this is right before we upgrade the Buster, which, oh man, just you wait.
Yeah, it goes from being completely useless to, well, you'll see. So you mentioned before about picking up that reg up. You can still do all that double jumping even if you pick it up and use it early. It's still a waste of time picking it up. Because you mentioned before that you don't pick that up there, then you can double jump to the stage.
Yeah, I mean, you have 1 extra double jump worth of megabytes for use on Color Man.
Well, yeah. So, Color Man is my least favorite boss in the speedrun by far.
Everyone's.
I might game over here because it's really difficult.
Yeah, you focus on the fight. Basically, the way Color Man works is he can do 1 of 3 things. Well, 1 of 4 things. Nothing. Move slowly towards you. Throw his ball in 1 of 2 patterns. Or use a fire tower attack. Sometimes he doesn't attack and just gets really close to you, and the closer he is, the harder it is to dodge the ball throw. The fire tower has a really weird hitbox because everything that you would kind of naturally do to dodge it, slide, jump, makes it harder to dodge. But if you found a neat way to where you can kind of walk through it and get it.
Yeah, so it's a lingering hitbox, but the hitbox disappears before the fire visually disappears, so you can just kind of walk through the fire.
Yeah, it like moves up or something. And then at the end, you finish him with the Buster shots, and as you can see, the Buster does not trigger a counterattack. This will be much more important later on. But that's the problem where, before you upgrade
most
the
of the time it doesn't trigger a counterattack. I think it does on it does on Fireman. He's the only one, I think.
Yeah, I guess kinda. He is quirky. But
just trying to remember if I'm doing this right. Yeah, this is right.
Yeah. I think you could buy full energies and barriers now.
I could, but I do it after the load, so I don't use them. So I usually only pick up double jump here, and the reason I didn't this time is because I forgot that I only pick up double jump here.
Well, there's a chance that you open draw a tree bomb. Why wouldn't you take all the chips? You did! This is a perfect draw.
Okay, this was all intentional. I got lucky and drew tree bomb here. That's why I choose all the chips every time I play this game. You can make that into double jumps, but sometimes I miss it.
It's really tight, because you have to jump, and then at the peak, double jump, and then at the peak, double jump.
Yeah. I actually find that one way more lenient than the one for Color Man, where you have to do the double jumps at the end to get the regular. Oh, no, sorry, it's the memo.
Yeah, well, I mean, as an alternative, I go up one higher and then slide off the platform. Because I think then you can make it in, like, one double jump instead of two.
I don't know, I haven't tried that.
And you get little extras in it. But yeah, using double jump to skip a whole lot of the stuff. Nice, right there at the start, especially. So this is a very vertical stage, lots of climbing, just like a Lifeman Classic.
Yep.
And so
Just
having
as
double
fucking
jump
annoying. So yeah, annoying is Select Man Classic too.
Yeah.
Oh, whoops.
There's some... Uh-oh. There's some... I can hear it. There's some really annoying ladder sections here, so Kid is going to save all of his remaining 3 double jumps to get past the worst part, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Did you tree bomb again? That's so... It's okay. We have plenty of spare lives for Luckman.
I don't think I'm going to do a quick kill on Lightman, because every time I try to quick kill with 3 bombs, he kills me. So I'm going to play that like really cowardly.
Yeah, it's not that much faster, and it creates a lot of RNG where there otherwise wouldn't be. So, Electman, as Eurasia mentioned, a lot of navis in this game have counterattacks, or like counter reactions to your best attack. In Electman's case, he will teleport behind you and try to zap you. It's a close range attack. And if he hits you, it does a lot of damage. So he's only vulnerable while he's attacking. So you have to shoot him, move forward, turn around, and then hit him. So we're gonna like spin around and throw a tree bomb in his face. But that causes him to counterattack, and he can summon electric clouds that move around and then do thunder, which while he's moving can make it very hard to dodge both of them. Or he can teleport behind you again and try and zap you again. If you chain together the zaps, it's really easy, but if you chain together lightning clouds, you might die.
I said I wouldn't do the quick kill, and I did it anyway, and died, so...
Nice.
No, I died.
Not nice. Well, I mean, you demonstrated... Oh. Oh. Yeah. Well, I mean, as we said... Yeah. Because teleporting behind you, especially with the lightning clouds up,
it's just like nothing personal.
And you did not get your 3 bombs, and you have 0 lives. This is exciting.
It's right, I've had to slice this guy so many times without 3 bombs. Which is why I died.
We're living on the edge here, guys. So when you...
I died.
when you shoot him, he won't, like... Ooh. Yeah. So, how about buying full energies and barriers?
Nah.
Okay. This is Fat Kid Speedrun. Ladies
Forgot to reg double jump. I told you, it always goes downhill from Electro.
This is fine. This is why we...
Oh no, I have a double jump reg, but I didn't get the lucky 3 bomb draw twice in a row. Feels fair.
I feel like I'm being lied to. Nice. Jumping over that Matar is kind of tight. Is the fastest way. If you get like a V-gun or a cannon, you can kind of quickly switch to it and take them out.
Oh, whoops. What about that guy?
Yeah. Reminder, my commentary is like 6 seconds behind, so just anything I say, I want you to apply it to what happened
Sure.
Yeah.
If it was just a little bit faster. This game's pretty fast. Sure, I'd agree. I also had the PAL version anyway.
Oh, we could play that. That would go slower.
That would go slower.
Then everyone would appreciate the speed of this network transmission speedrun. Those things on the floor move faster when you're on the same kind of vertical plane as them.
Horizontal plane.
When your verticality, when your Y coordinate is within a certain range of theirs. It's all perspective.
I got stuck.
If I turn the screen sideways, then I'm correct.
Kind of forgot where I was, and then walked left for no reason.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Yeah, I'm just on the ladder like... Uh-oh.
Oh my god.
So yeah,
So
the
those
only
lightning things
only
do a lot of
things
damage.
that ever kill me in this stage, other than a leg man, is the lightning ladders thing. I got killed by
Yeah, the lanterns are the worst part.
I got killed
'Cause the
by
lightning-
the thing that throws the bombs, the stun bombs. But the only reason I got killed by that is because I didn't want to jump too high to hit the electricity on the left.
Oh, the irony. On the bright side, you drew tree bombs, so...
Yep. I'm getting pretty lucky, it's just I'm throwing all this luck away.
Is 2 double jump enough to get up, or do you have to use 3 for it?
You need to.
Okay. You know. Gotcha. Can't remember.
Easy game. Buster charge is not good? Oh. I'll show you just how wrong you are.
Maybe he means
Starting
Buster
off.
charge
yeah.
before you. Your bus, you don't even have charge before you upgrade.
No, you don't have the charge buster before upgrade.
So, yeah, your starting Buster charge is pretty bad. So this is a Lekman. You've never seen this boss before. His attack patterns are... Alright, I'm done. Oh, and sometimes when you go to hit him, oh, that was... Did that tree bomb hit?
Yeah, I let him back.
That
to
was
the tree.
amazing. Kid, that was like a 5,000 IQ player. Right there.
Oh boy, you smacked me, man. Round down car.
That's crazy. So, you know, tree bombs will stay on the ground for a little bit and then they'll pop out. And so, since the Lekman always teleports behind you whenever you hit him, almost always, Kid use that to his advantage. But then sometimes after you hit him with the tree bomb, he can choose to not attack. And if he doesn't attack, he'll either just walk forward into you or jump over you. Lekman's weird. So at this point, Mega Man has been infected by the Zero virus. Oh no, everyone panic. Shoutouts to Doyson. So now we have to figure out where the Zero virus is coming from, try and get to the source of it so that our dad can create some sort of patch or vaccine. But before we do that, we're going to go do some online shopping.
I love online shopping.
Why didn't you take any chips?
Because I don't use any no matter how many I draw, usually. Oh, okay, that's the problem.
I can't wait for another 6 or 7 seconds.
Oh, for free.
This is fine.
No, I accidentally hit the double jump, but I think it'll be okay.
Oh, yeah. You just wait for megabytes. Climb up the ladder. Oh, something also really significant happened in this game that only happens in this game. Land creates a bookmark so we can go back to an arbitrary location on the internet without having to walk to it.
And without having to have a friend to do it for you.
Madness. We will be using that a whole lot.
Oh man. This game would be so much more annoying without that specific bookmark. I'm not going to use the double jump there because I'm on Megabyte.
we'd basically move in and live at Dex's house.
Yeah.
Because he's got a better internet location. Imagine if your real world location and where you put your router determined like how close to things you were on the internet, how quickly they were.
So, this is where we get Swole.
So we've collected a few power-ups. We buy 3 more. That's where most of the Zenny goes in this game. You didn't buy that last HP map?
No, I just get them out by the HP map.
So, maxing out Rapid is hilarious, but largely ineffective. Maxing out Charge is insane. There are 2 levels to charge. You might not notice the first level because it's so fast now. But, and then increasing the attack just makes it do one advantage. So,
the Buster, because we mentioned earlier that counter-attacking isn't applied to the Buster for every boss other than Fireman, pretty much, it becomes really good. It becomes better than most chips, with some exceptions. At least that we can get in the end run.
Yeah, a fully charged shot does like just under 100 damage.
So in most runs you wouldn't go here, but I need an item here that's required to get the good ending, which Terra signed me up for about it.
Yeah. We get to run across conveyor belts and tiny circular rotating platforms, or just double jump over them.
I mean, it's faster.
So when you pick up that GMD, or the gold mystery data, which is also GMD, Mega Man's like, oh, it's a source file. And I was like, what kind of sauce? Tabasco?
Did he really say that?
I do believe so.
Oh my god.
That's classic. So this is the Zero Rush. We basically have multiple stages to go through. The first boss is Proto Man, but he runs away.
Yeah.
We're going to use double jump a whole lot, and you buy barriers after the stage, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I hope so.
So the first section is the old area, and old area is broken up into 2 parts. The first area, you just double jump up to the end, and then you start the second area. So the first is really short.
So I just want to point out, this is the area I've died to more than any other, maybe other than Gravity now. So this will be interesting.
Is it the not today? Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. Old area 2, with double jump and trying to go fast and dodge enemies, is very, very difficult. Very scary.
I didn't mean to pick up the GMD. Actually.
Fine. But the game from this point forward is managing, charging your Buster to kill the enemies, double jump to get over obstacles and go quickly, and then any like RNG chips that you get sometimes can be useful.
Mostly recops for me in particular. Screw this guy.
So the hitbox on those swords in the ground is kind of weird. Oh, the hitbox on the beat tank is also kind of weird. All aura enemies in this game, the auras have 100. It takes a 100 damage attack to break it.
Or an element of the same type.
Of its weakness.
Oh, of its weakness, he said. Same type weakness. Same.
So, Proto Man got beat up.
I do the arrow skip there as well. Yeah, Proto Man has...
By the guy we're about to fight. We'll let you be the judge on how difficult this guy is. We're not going to explain him. I just want you to watch, and then we'll explain it in post.
Yeah, so Pro Man 5 to that. I must admit, I game over to that in praxis. Don't ask how.
I don't believe you. So that's Swordman. He's really good with swords. Not good with dodging or thinking.
Oh boy.
That shows off the power that the Buster has. We can rely on it for consistent damage, and because it's not a chip and doesn't cause flinching, bosses won't counterattack. Swordman does have a bunch of other attacks. Well, not a bunch. He's got two others. He can do the Sword Slash, which he did a couple times. He can move around. He can jump up, which is the worst one, and then like follow you and dive bomb. And if he hits you with that, you get stunned, and then he follows it up with the Sword Slash, or he can throw his swords at you, which spin around the screen and then move in. You remember the barriers, good.
Yep.
So it's going to buy some barriers. Those will be useful in the next stage, the strange grab area. So we'll let you figure out who the boss might be.
After I get past that area, I shouldn't say this because I'm going to jinx it, but I become a lot more relieved with the run, I guess, because I don't mind the other stages as much. Pharaoh can be a tricky one, but we'll see what happens.
Swordman would make a great TeamBN member. You're not wrong, everything. You fit right in. So this stage can be kind of scary to do quickly. It also has a lot of one-tile-wide platforms that I don't see how people slide on those, but some do, and it is very, very fast. If done well.
Yeah, I slide on them to do it badly, so I just like to be kids.
You made me have to qualify my statement. A lot of the traps on here are on global timers. The normal color floor doesn't affect your jump. The yellow floor, which looks very similar to the normal color but different floor, makes your jumps very small, like a fourth, and then the purple is like half.
Like, the main problem with this stage is they throw... You'd think it's just like some sort of one gravity mechanic, but they throw like several different mechanics that affect your movement in different ways, and it really messes you up.
Surprised they didn't like throw in some low. Well, I guess because like there.
Yeah.
So Hammer Joe's kind of annoying because he blocks your attacks. If you got V-Gun or something, it can be good. Boy, that Mega Cannon gets you every time.
Yeah, I know.
So you need to delay the first jump that you do.
Okay.
It's a little weird, little counter.
I don't remember what I take
There's
out.
these sections that reverse your gravity, but if you use double jumps, you can kind of skip one, which is kind of cool. And then at this point, we switch to barrier. Put it in the folder. I'm debating on what to take out. Most of the chips in your folder are kind of inconsequential. The cannons, all of them will be useful later. I'm sure some of you can guess why. And then double jump and barrier will be alternating between the two regularly. Oh, is that Mediocre? Nice, that's good for gravity, man.
Yep.
Oh, you kill the bunny to save the barrier.
Yeah.
Nice. There's like 3 enemies that you have to pass through. The more barriers you have for Gravity Man, the safer and more consistent it becomes. So Gravity Man, in the little intro text, Mega Man's like, careful, he's very strong, but he seems like he has a weak processing unit. He's got a bit of a blind spot. Yeah, up until that miss, I was gonna say that was the best Gravity Man I've seen you do.
Yeah. I had a good one yesterday where I got an M cannon. I didn't miss any. But that's like the only time it's ever happened.
So again, Buster doesn't cause counterattacks, or it doesn't flinch, which then causes a counterattack. Counter navis are an exception. So sometimes Gravity Man just doesn't attack.
Yep. And more annoyingly, sometimes he does a separate attack where he pulls you in towards him, and it lasts forever and wastes time unless you get hit.
Yeah. So if you can spare the hit, you just jump in the attack. So the next stage has probably my favorite theme in all NT.
Yeah, I'd say it's my favorite, second favorite.
Yeah. It is the low gravity area, and it also features a cool little...
The boss,
double jump.
that's
Yep.
not actually... Oh, why am I back at gravity stage? That's not actually a blind spot. A Gravity Man can still hit you back there, like, just fine.
Yeah.
It's actually more dangerous
Gravity
back
Man's
there.
got... Yeah. Gravity Man's got 2 attacks. He'll throw out orbs that track you and do contact damage, or he'll pull you towards him, which does contact damage. And then every time you jump up, you'll like switch your gravity if you get close enough to the other side. For the first area, you're normally supposed to go all along the bottom to the right, back up, and then come back left. But we're just going to kind of short circuit that. You know, you could have just waited a second. Notch got hit, and then not used.
No. That's not my way.
Oh my gosh. This stage has the second only mini boss. I guess technically there's a third, depending on how you categorize it, the firewall. But this is the second mini boss, or mid-stage boss. And Kid drew Heat V, which is enough to kill it. It takes 5 hits. If you don't draw either, you usually reg with Bub V, which you get from the first mini boss, which is kind of ironic. Because the boss is a giant Yort. And the only vulnerability is right down the middle. It's difficult to hit, but if you do something that spreads or explodes, you can kind of get away with that. And you just wasted one. You only need 5 to kill it. Kid's showing off. Let's see if he's good.
Yeah, definitely showing off. It wasn't like what I could kill it with that one. No. I shouldn't be regging this until I know I need it, but I'm already in the menu.
As a precaution. I think it's fine to do. So Starman hovers around whenever he like preemptively dodges you. If you jump up to hit him with something and get on level with him, he'll teleport. So you can jump up to bait him to teleport out, jump up again, hit him with a buster shot, jump up again, and follow up with a chip attack.
It might not be obvious, but he's actually not falling normally. Your jump height is like double, I think, and your falling is probably half. I don't know, you fall off slower. Basically, feels that way.
That doesn't sound good. Oh, that was Starman yelling. I never can tell. Someone died. That was an amazing Starman fight. He was very cooperative.
That was all because of the RNG you got.
Yeah. Did he even do the full screen attack?
Nope.
So, you saw Starman throw stars out. There's a second version of that that covers almost the entire screen, slightly dependent on where he is.
Yeah, sometimes, if you're really lucky, it covers the screen, but you can barely jump over it, land in the middle, and then slide. But most of the time, you just can't get past it unless you have a barrier, invis, or double jump.
So, at this point, we now have access to the Zero account, where the Zero virus is coming from. Well, I won't spoil the surprise. But we've got a really good boss fight coming up that totally doesn't have any cheap mechanics that might kill Kid no matter what he does.
Definitely not an undodgeable RNG attack that he can spam endlessly.
Reminder to don't shoot him after he does that.
I don't find a difference. I gotta damage him sometime.
Listen, Kid.
Yeah.
He has never changed 6 on me. I don't shoot him.
Okay. Well, if he starts chaining me, I'll keep that in mind and then die. Because I shoot him.
Oh, nice. I had above V, so you demonstrated that elemental weaknesses will take out the auras, even if it's less than 100. Also has Tree Bomb, which is a potential backup, but you kind of want to save your MP for... I guess barrier's pretty cheap. Wow, use it on double jumps. That is technically faster. The conveyor belt pushes you back really quickly, so double jumping over it is the fast option. The stage lasts just about long enough for the custom gauge to fill. Are you getting it preemptively?
Yeah.
Okay. Not bad. And so this is Zero. Like Bright Man, he counters attacks, and so you have to bait out an attack and then hit him while he's attacking.
The reason I opened the menu early was just in case I drew recap 30.
Oh, okay. You know you have half energies.
I don't.
You don't?
No, I don't.
You know you should have half energies.
I do now. That sounds slut.
Like, what? I buy half energies and barriers. Oh, so cool, you get to see the attack. You were shooting him! Stop it!
I stopped.
Okay, you only got one chain. Maybe the third. Oh my gosh. No. Yeah,
Thank you for the raid.
That's the strat.
It's now telling me about if the raid's offensive to mess around with settings, and it's covering up my chat, but okay.
I didn't even get that message. But yes, thank you for the raid and the host. You came just in time to see Zero not die because we got good ending.
Yep.
Shoutouts to Fat Kid remembering the Tabasco file.
I was not gonna skip the dialogue, but then I skipped the dialogue and stopped at the incorrect dialogue. So
yeah, just do the thing. So Proto Man shows up and is like, "We must destroy the source of the Zero virus." And then your dad's like, "That's cool, I already took care of it. He's fine now." And then Proto Man's like, "Dang, I wanted to kill someone."
and then if you don't get it, Proto Man's like, "Oh, I'm gonna kill Zero," and then Mega Man's like, "Sorry, Zero," and then he shoots him. He dies. Spoilers.
It fades it out though, so you know. Presumably he's still alive. No one knows. If you don't die on camera, you're probably fine.
Exactly, especially in the BN universe, because there's a lot of off-camera deaths that are, in quotations, deaths.
So at this point, the real villain has appeared. The Professor, former member of the World 3, attempting to revive the Life Virus, who you saw in the exciting Rockman EXE Wonderswan. But we don't know where it is, so we're gonna go try and find it. It's probably the internet. Let's go check the internet.
I don't know why I'm going up.
Read it, read it, read it.
I'll read it. Screw you!
Where are you going? What?
I got confused, don't worry, I do that sometimes.
Okay. Oh, the bunny. I would help read the dialogue, but I'm 6 seconds behind.
Sorry, just give me a second.
I'm imagining Fat Kid is having to deal with his cat right now, who is either actively attacking his toe or headbutting the microphone.
You know me too well. This is the internet. Kids aren't allowed in here. Scram! Hey, come on, please. Can't you just let us in? Wait, Mega Man. Didn't Yai say this guy hates polite people? We have to be as crude and rude as possible. Really? Are you sure? It's the only way. Give it a shot, Mega Man. There's no time to waste. Okay, Lan. I'll try. Hey, you over there. I mean, hey, scumbag. Let us through, jerk. Something like that. Huh? You must be a beginner. You'll have to do better than that. Mega Man, you have to be nastier. You're still too nice. Too nice? Wait. Nina? What? You gonna try and stop me, huh? Don't try any funny business or I'll have to stab you. Rawr.
Rawr.
Wow, you're so nasty. You gotta be from the internet. In you go. Thanks. I mean, thanks, you stinking gutter rat. Nice work. Your experience fighting Needleman really paid off here. Hope everyone enjoyed that.
I enjoyed your land voice. I think that was pretty good. So now we're gonna go to the internet. Plot twist. Proto Man is in the internet.
I didn't even skip that cutscene. It just didn't play. What?
Huh.
The cutscene didn't play. I didn't even skip it. I was gonna skip it anyway.
Is there a cutscene? That's not an actual boss fight. I don't think there is.
Oh, okay. You're probably right. I thought there was, but maybe not.
Yeah. So if you go back to that area, basically the shortcut to the internet got a hot link to the backside of the official intranet. I don't know how they explain it. You can go fight Proto Man now.
No, thanks. Not without Invis.
He is worse than any boss you actually have to fight. Can you imagine if you had to fight Proto Man right then and there? He's like, "You're not supposed to be here. Prepare to die." So we have to go figure out how to get into the internet now. So Higsby gives us a hot tip that we're gonna go check out, and then afterwards we're gonna go look at where World 3 used to be headquartered in Battle Network 1. You have a buster, you can kill that guy.
I remembered that I had it part way in though.
Cool. We're also gonna like swing by and give Number Man some good business, some more business.
Proto Man obviously sounds nasty. Are you kidding me?
Proto Man probably wouldn't even stop. He would walk through the guy. Although apparently, the official navis just have a shortcut to the internet. Wow, you have so much money.
Yeah, I have a little more than I usually have. I usually have about, it depends, but 2,000 to 1,000.
So, there's kind of annoying ladders here, but, you know, power of double jump.
Dude jump.
Power of dude jump.
Do you skip the ladder with double jump, too?
I'm uncertain. One will get you to the ladder. I think two will get you all the way up.
Because Maple,
I
think Maple does, but I never usually do because I'm too scared about my megabyte usage.
Yeah, it's like you go through all 10. Because you use double jumps to get up there, you use double jumps in the stage.
Yeah, if I don't double jump and ignore the ladder, then I save like one double jump, too. So. Usually need
This stage is kind of scary because the ghosts teleport randomly, there's rats everywhere, and spikes everywhere.
Yeah, ratties aren't quite as annoying as they are in a normal BN, but...
Yeah, they're worse. Ratty 3 does like half your health.
I mean, yeah, they do a lot of health, but at least you don't have to kill them.
Like, you touch it with your toe. Like, clearly that's Mega Man's weakness. Same as Fatkid.
Yeah.
Ah, I stepped on a rat. I'm dead. So we switched to barrier just because there's a lot of enemies that have a lot of health. And
Okay, I pressed barrier. I refuse to accept this fact.
Huh. Sometimes you can make it through with an extra. But
Yeah, but I usually
not
mess it
expected.
up, so...
Yeah. You can iframes off the 10 damage rat to go to the 200 damage spikes, which is pretty cool. A little scary, pretty cool. Kid's an expert at this game though, trust him.
I'm an expert when it comes to spikes, because I've died to every single one of them multiple times. I don't even see spikes, I just see the hitbox.
Pharaoh Man has the most health, I think, of any of the bosses you face. He floats around, and his only attack is really running into you. He drops coffins that will either summon a rat or fire a laser. The rats build up over time, it can be pretty disastrous. The Anubis that he drops, sometimes instead of a coffin, pulses out in like 40 damage hits, and it takes like 3 shots to kill it. I don't even know if it's got health or if it's just got a hit counter.
Just a hit counter?
I'm I'm mostly convinced, but I'm not convinced.
I've used a Mega Cannon on it and it still took 2 Buster Shots.
I mean, probably. What if you have a non-upgraded Buster? Right? Maybe you have to do like X damage 3 times.
Maybe. But the point is, that would
was...
still be time-based.
Well, if you don't do enough, you'd have to do like 4 hits.
Oh, yeah.
One of the health bars. It's just, you know. That was the most aggressive that I've seen Pharaoh Man be.
Which is probably also the most aggressive I've ever been on him, really.
So I like the next stage. This is maybe my second favorite track. It's the ruins or vacant World 3 area. And whenever you beat a boss the first time, you get 1 copy of their chip, which is like a signature attack. And then you can go back and fight them in the park area, where you can fight defeated navis. And if you get an average rank, you get their chip, and if you get a high rank, you get their navi chip. Navi chip, they come in and do the normal attack, but the signature chip is cool. Doesn't stop time, and each one is kind of unique to the boss. And Starman's signature chip is the Star Arrow, which is kind of like Super Arrow in Classic Mega. And we're actually going to use it in a similar way in the second half of this area.
Yeah. We unfortunately only have 1 use, so we can't use it quite as much as like Mega Man 5, but...
Yeah. You also get it so late in the game. I wonder, like, if we had it earlier, what things would change, but... This area has got a lot of... It's very easy to fall down in a lot of the places. And then we also want to try and, like, finish getting Mega Cannons. You want to have... How many Mega Cannons at the end? 5?
You want to have 4 or 5, but I think I have 3. Sorry, screw that ghost.
That was interesting. Oh, wow. Fire Buster Shot.
Oh yeah, I've got Fire Buster Shot on that, I'm sorry.
No swag shot?
No,
The Star Arrow moves faster than your Buster Shot, so when you shoot it, you run past it.
Including Charge Busters, which is funny.
Yeah, I don't think I've done the Charge Buster. Your Buster Shot, I think, has a lot longer range. Infinite range?
Not sure about Infinite, but it is really long range.
But this area also has the Gutsman platforms, so if you use Star Arrow, you skip past most of those. The Shadow Man boss fight is got this thing where every time you flinch him, he does a counterattack. He jumps up to the top, where he spawns with 2 Shadow Clones in 1 of 3 positions randomly, and then he'll point his sword towards you and then come down and then like do a backflip style all over you. But if you hit him while he's up at the top, he gets stuck in a chain. So if you use, while Kid's like really showing off using regular cannon and not Mega Cannon.
It's only because I have 3 Mega Cannons, that's the only reason. I'm gonna die to him either way.
Part of the problem. It's a tight timing. It's partially visual, partially audio. We're going to continue talking to make it extra difficult.
Nah, I don't use any audio, so
I kind of do.
So I always die to it, so that's probably the difference.
It's like when he appears, or like, he makes a noise or sound or something.
Yeah, I just wanted to... I died to him, so I wanted you to, like, just acknowledge that he's in a game before BN2 and after BN1, you know? Just look at him. I wanted him to have more screen time.
We saw him! We saw him!
I said he's in BN1. I was after BN1.
Yeah. Shadow Man's all over the place. My favorite game that he's in is 3, though.
Budget Metal Man.
So now your dad pulls some data magicry and fixes the broken data and the old data to make good data, so that way you can get to the internet. How he does it? Suspicious. But this is basically the end of the game. Kid's gonna spend all of his fortune on subchips, and we're gonna go to the internet, and there's a point of no return once you get into that, and we'll have to go on.
As usual with Battle Network.
So this is cool. It's like it's probably the best part of the run, is the run through the internet, the firewall boss refights, and then the final boss. So good luck, kid. We're also going to show off
the mechanics pretty well.
Yeah, we're also going to show off program advances for the first time, and it's going to make the firewall fight hilarious, and then helping a couple other bosses. Part of the reason Kid did the big folder edit previously was to put in a bunch of single-use chips, because if you don't use a chip and you open up the custom gauge, it gets reshuffled in, so you can actually draw the same chip multiple times. But if you get rid of it, it goes out of the pool, and there's a few chips that he wants. The smaller you make that pool, the more likely you are to get the chips you actually want. Of course,
that's pretty bad.
Ouch. I mean, just use a full energy.
I don't have a full energy. I only
Use a
have
half
two.
energy. I mean, reg barrier?
That's what I'm doing. I always reg barrier.
Ah.
I reg barrier when I use fast gauge. So.
Gotcha. This area shows off all of the little scuttles. They have the same barrier that the aura heads do. These guys just do more damage. The ones at the end don't have an element, so you have to do anything over 100. And of course we got purple at the end. There's a lot of like blue mystery data and stuff out. I like just using all the different chips. Circle ball's pretty funny.
Oh my god.
So you're supposed to select battleships usually?
I just let it go to max, then select them. Oh right, I reshuffled there. Sorry, I'm stupid.
So now we're gonna use the full cust. This is where we use the full cust. It's RNG. You could technically open draw every chip that you needed, and that would be that. But most likely you won't. We really only need the program advance, but ideally we would also get tree bombs, because boss refights, quick kill on Brightman's pretty good.
For me personally, I never like go forward without the tree bomb. Wait, no, I chose cannons. Oh.
You see kids like selected double jump multiple times and keeps redrawing it because it reshuffles all of the unused chips, even the ones that you just got rid of. Satellite's hilarious. I can't wait for when it becomes a strat to use satellite on Iceman.
That's probably the fastest strat, honestly.
Brightman first, open draw tree bomb. Yeah, man. So PAs all only take 8 megabytes. The Zeta series makes you invincible. The firewall virus, the spikes on the far left actually do 1,000 damage, so they will kill you. The cannon at the bottom fires shots, cannon at the top fires lasers, and then once the health gets so low, they start firing homing missiles. The fight doesn't end until you kill the laser in the middle, which opens up, charges up, and fires an attack. It's got 1,000 HP, but just turn invisible and have infinite mega cannon uses to an enemy that doesn't have iframes, and that's what you get. At this point, you now have a boss rush, and this is all of the navis that were infected by the Zero virus. So it's not all of the bosses, but most of them.
All of them other than Colorman. Colorman wasn't infected by the Zero virus.
Oh. Well, that's weird.
Yep.
I wonder how they even try to explain that one. Maybe he was infected and just didn't care.
Maybe. Miss Mad, or whatever her name is, says that he wasn't, so maybe she was lying. But...
Was she even there? I thought Colorman just said, "Oh, I was bored."
Oh, it might just be Colorman saying that he was bored. Because I know there's some line of dialogue that implies he wasn't infected. Oh,
Maybe
okay.
he's really just good at acting, or he got infected and doesn't remember.
So that's what happens if you suck.
Oh,
Taking this very, very carefully. See, I just wanted to show off how this boss usually goes if you didn't suck.
have you learned like the Buster timing strat on him?
I'm in the process of.
Okay, so if you stand a little bit further away and fire a shot above him, the charge has a looping audio effect, and it's usually like on the 1, 2, 3 fire.
Okay.
But I mean, it's a feeling. It looks like you mostly got it. You should use a half energy before you get freeze bomb.
Good idea.
Like as I say that, I see the freeze bomb. Then you walk into Iceman, or did Iceman walk into you? Is it mutual?
It's a mutual agreement.
Oh, and using the program advance on Electman's pretty funny. Oh, so we got the PA again. Weird. How did that happen? Well, you see, before the boss refights, Lan is like, "Let's do a restore." Oh, because that's a thing you can do. And now, yada yada power of friendship roll uses Volterac.
Restores are just really expensive, so he's only ever used it once in the entire series.
Maybe bookmarks are also really expensive.
Well, why doesn't Yai have all of them?
I mean, maybe she does, it's just we don't get to use them.
Fair.
So this is the final boss, this is the life virus, and Fat Kid's gonna choose him with the PA.
I never really learned the rhythm to this to get the quick kill. I've gotten it once. Oh, I'm not getting it this
Fat Kid's
time.
gonna try and choose him, miss, and then finish him with a tree bomb, because that's fun as well.
Okay, I basically cheesed it.
Alright. Don't win yet, I'm not ready to hit the timer.
Okay, let me just jump into it.
Appreciate that. You sacrificing for us.
Time, I guess.
I'm logging on right now. Time.
Time!
Alright, got it. You're so fast.
Now to enjoy a nice nugget. Now, some ASMR stream.
The credits show you all of the intro cutscenes to each of the bosses that are skipped during the run. So that's kind of neat. What was that?
It's ASMR tea drinking stream.
Oh. I have a bottle of water, so.
Thanks, Tara.
Not the same.
What happens if Zero's dead there? Basically the exact same scene, except Zero doesn't show up.
Yeah, and your dad gets all the credit.
Yeah, so if to save Zero, then the plot is that Zero sold out the scientist man. Dr. Scientist died. And he
Professor.
he calls his heels in prison. If you don't save Zero, then the net operators find his house somehow without Zero. I think they examine the Zero virus and find the location in there somewhere.
Zero still has access to all of the Zero viruses sensors, which are like his eyes and ears.
Yeah.
And they were everywhere, including on the professor's computer.
That's fun.
I'm just amazed at the speed because, like, that happened right at the end, and then as soon as it happened, there was an official knocking on his door.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I just happened to be outside. Turns out this is your HQ. All right,
couldn't you have been a few seconds faster so I didn't have to, like, you know, fight life virus again?
They were actually just like waiting outside. It's like, all right, did he win yet? Here we go. Wait.
I wanted land to feel accomplished. Well, yeah, the only real difference between the two is that in one, Zero carries on being alive and he's just out there on the net somewhere, and the other is gone. So, there's no canon ending, who knows which one's real, because it implies that you'll never see him again, because he just wanders around on the net. So.
What were you talking about? You used a cannon to win the game. That was the canon ending.
Good point. This is, I guess, foreshadowing for a game that's already out.
Booyah! We haven't done it in the marathon yet, though.
Yeah, that's true. It's coming out later, but not right
Yeah.
after this.
At the end of the marathon. Battle Network 2 is my favorite game, so.
It's probably my second favorite. Well, yeah, I'm done here. So, thanks for watching, everyone.
Yeah, be sure to follow twitch.tv/littlexxfatkid.
Cut that.
If you go to the schedule, actually, the schedule links to every streamer's Twitch page or each fan game's website project page, so you can get more info there. I guess that's pretty much it. So, you good, kid?
No, wait a second.
Okay. I'll let you do it. Don't get carried away. So, thank you everyone for watching. This has been the Little Fat Kid 3-hour power hour. Actually, it was more like 2 hours. You did this faster than anyone expected.
I did it faster than I expected.
Yeah, see the power of saving and hydration. But if you enjoy what you're seeing right now, this is how a typical Fat Kid stream goes, so be sure to follow him. He's always entertaining. A good time has been, or sorry, how was it? Good time was had by all. Let me know when you're satisfied. I'll give you a few more. And then
Almost.
Set up for sharing. I mean, I can still see the game, so I don't know. Shoutouts to the Battle Network anime, Mega Man NT Warrior, and the Star Force anime, which I've never seen and don't know what it's called.
I don't actually know. One of the series is called Try, but I just call it Star Force anime. I saw like 5 episodes.
And of course, Blark Sona 4, the best of the series.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm satisfied.
Alright, now that Kid has ensured that we will not be able to monetize anything in this marathon, Thank you everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. We're going to set up for the next run, which is Shanghai EXE, which is another, like Shanghai EXE and Chrono X are probably the most developed and most polished Battle Network fan games. So be sure to check out both of those. Shanghai's coming up next with Rish, and he's actually going to play Star Force mode. So if you wonder what would happen if you took the Star Force playstyle, but in a Battle Network setting, be sure to stick around. It's
Get ready for another train wreck.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. So we're going to set up for that. In the meantime, enjoy the music and try to win at Quiz King. Test your trivia. Be right back. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Bye.
Hold on.